I said that our people view the divinities the same way they viewed Jesus and Yahweh. Okay, so if you trace back the people that we know today as our ancestors, your parents are Christians, your grandparents were Christians, and your great grandparents were indoctrinated into Christianity. So let's assume your grandparents returned to Ordinana. They still are children of the people that were Jesusified. Do you understand? So our people in Nigeria, the people that are practicing Igbo spirituality today, they don't understand divinities and what they represent. What is a divinity? What is a divine being? What does that represent? So I'm going to use Osiris, Asa, to help you guys understand what divinity is. Why should I use Asa? Because our people of ancient Kemet left us that's where they recorded a lot of things about who we are, and what we did. Kemet is the flower of Africa. We are the root of that flower. Okay, Kemet the Kukwo Kemet the leaves of a tree, and we are the root of that tree. That is Ebeda tree shi, Eboshi. That's what we are. We are West Africa, southern part of Africa is the root of a tree known as Kemet. So I can be able to use Asa to help you guys to also understand that our people of Kemet, which are people that were not Jesusified, it will help you guys to understand how our people saw divinities before the Jesusification of our people, before the Abrahamization of our people, okay? So a perfect example proving that our people, going all the way back to the beginning of Ogazi, because 3100 BCE was the beginning of Ogazi, around 3100 BCE and 3200 BCE, and that is when Nama united the upper and lower Kemet. That's when the civilization began, when Nama united the lower and upper Kemet, and that is around the time of the beginning of Ogazi, fresh out of Oganwu, okay? So that is 31 or 3200 BCE. In the Putemheru is, the translation is coming forth by day. It is a manuscript that explains how ancient Kemet people viewed spirituality, about the journey of a man named Ani and his wife. And the soul of Ani was judged on the scale of Ma'at. Now, the first symbol of the fact that our people don't view divinities as people that once walked the face of the earth is actually the symbol of Ma'at. Ma'at is a representation of a scale. A scale is not a human being, it is a symbol. Ma'at itself is the scale. The scale that the Igbo man is using in the courtroom today, it's actually a representation of Ma'at. Now, the whole entire process of the man named Ani is to become Osiris, Asa. That's the whole entire purpose. So, if Ani is becoming Osiris, what does that tell you of what Osiris is? Osiris, Asa, is a representation of a symbol that anyone can become. What is that telling you? What is Osiris? I've shared the hieroglyph of Osiris to you guys in this group. It's an eye. So the journey of brother Ani to become Osiris, which is this man sitting on this thing, that is to transform, to become conscious. That's what it means. So it's not a representation of Ani was being judged by Osiris, or Ani is meeting Osiris. No, what they wrote in the papyrus of Ani became Asa. And I am the one that decoded Asa to be Ose Ora, which is that Ane became conscious and he became one with his chi. That's what it represents. Basically, meaning that Ane became an AGBARA. How did this man become an Asa? His soul, Obia, Demfe, okay? He lived his life under the principle of Ofo. So the papyrus of Ane, which the Igbo man called the Book of the Dead, is not actually a journey of a dead person, but a journey of a living person. Because the literal definition of the term is coming forth by day, to bring yourself forth, like your daily, it's like saying daily activities. Me coming forth, you. That's why I'm also the one that translated Put Heru, because I know a little bit of hieroglyph. Put means pata. That's like the same Igbo word. Put because the Igbo man was the one that recorded it, So it says put. That's what they saw. They just, from the hieroglyph, the sound, the tonal sound, they wrote put. But the pata is because it sounds like pata. Pata also means come out. Pata is the name of a divinity. Come out. Okay, pata means come out. Put Heru means coming forth. But just like Igbo people want to put benime to coming forth. Heru means face and also the future or day. So Pota nime iruchi, coming forth by day. Pota iruchi is day. So coming forth by day is a reflection of how a person lives their daily life, and how a conscious person lives their daily life. Inside this book is where the Christians copied the things in their book. Jesus is a plagiarism of Asa. Becoming a Christian, becoming the concept of being Christ-like, to be Christ, to be like Christ, to become like Jesus Christ. Jesus does not exist. Do you understand? That's why even in the Bible, Jesus said, you can be me, you can become like me, you can do what I did, you can do what I do, you can become like it. It's all in the Bible. I am the Son, you can do what I do. Ane becomes Asa is like somebody becoming a Christian. That's what it is. So, but the way the Christians don't even understand that. They don't understand what that means. That's why they are worshiping Jesus, because they failed the school of thought, because they were, before the Romans made this book public, they had to dumb it down. That's why the book is full of contradiction. They had to dumb it down. That's why billions of people in the world don't understand. They call themselves Christians, but they don't know that being a Christian is to be like Jesus Christ, to become Jesus Christ. Basically, you are Ane, becoming Asa, who Jesus Christ is a plagiarism of. Jesus is a plagiarism of Asa. Divinities are not something you worship. It's not something that's not what divinities are. Divinities hold principles of what you should apply in your life. For example, the principles of Ikenga are things that you should apply in your life through spiritual discipline. Just like the way to become Asa is through spiritual discipline. The way to become a Christian is through spiritual discipline. Now, don't get me wrong. When I say the way to become a Christian is through spiritual discipline, I'm not saying that Christians are disciplined. Christians have nothing to do with Jesus. They don't even behave like Jesus. They just worship Jesus because they failed the school of thought. They don't understand that the story is about you becoming like Christ. All the things that Jesus was teaching these fools in that book, New Testament, are based on meditation, are based on raising your frequency, raising your consciousness, becoming enlightened. That's what the whole book is about. Separating yourself. Basically, that whole entire New Testament is about mind over matter. Mind over matter. It's not about going to heaven. Heaven is your head. The heaven that you need to go is in your head. That's where the heaven is. That is to become Asa is to go to heaven. Because Asa, your pineal gland, the sorage, is in your heaven, your head, even your head. That's why you have the word head, heaven. They all sound like head, heaven, all this, heaven, even. To become balanced, to become even, to become ma'at. That's even. To become for your soul to become as light as the feather of ma'at. To become even, to go to heaven. That's what it is. This is what all these things are about. But Ndi Oru Anu, they don't understand this. That's why evil people na-egbu ọkụkọ na ewu. Ezigbo mmadụ na-egbu ọkụkọ na ewu, and evil people na-egbu ọkụkọ na ewu. The question to ask is, kedu onye an evil person na-egbu ọkụkọ na ewu to? And what is that entity? It's because they think there's something there. There's not something there. These are principles. And enweghị any agbara pụtasị anyị na aha ebe ahụ bụ n'agụ. Ọ mmadụ si na ihe abụ ahụ bụ n'agụ. Enweghị any agbara pụtara si na aha ya bụ Ikenga, na aha ya bụ Amadioha. Ala bụ mmadụ si na ihe abụ ana. Mmadụ si na ihe abụ Igwe ka ala. Mmadụ si na ihe abụ Amadioha. Mmadụ si na ihe abụ Egbe Igwe. Mmadụ si na ihe abụ Ikenga. Mmadụ si na ihe abụ ahụ bụ n'agụ. It's not anything that came out and said that. So these are divinities. Divinities are principles that you are supposed to use to apply to your spiritual discipline. The divinities teach discipline. That's what the divinities teach. They are symbols. The divinities are representing what a specific community hold to be divine. Their uprightness. Like the Statue of Liberty. Okay? The Statue of Liberty is a symbol. And any woman that is holding fire, that is a giant holding fire, standing on top, and the man just say for to be a boy, such thing never existed. The Statue of Liberty is the name of a deity. We're talking about Venus. Okay? So you see the Statue of Liberty holding the fire. What it represents is this specific country is saying that this is what we hold to be divine. This is what we hold to be. This is what our standard is. This is our thing. This is what represents us. Okay? So the divinities are a representation of a community and what the community hold to be divine. Billions of people in this world believe that Jesus is real, or that Yahweh is like a literal blue-eyed, blonde hair, bearded Oyibo man wearing red and blue, living in the sky and looking down on all of us. This is what people believe in. This is the same way as believing that there's actually an entity called Amadioha that is causing thunder and lightning. Thunder and lightning are caused by the sun. Is the sun a human being or does the sun have hands and legs and eyes? Thunder and lightning are caused by the sun. But we have a deity called Amadioha. That should tell you what Amadioha is a representation of. You, as a man, can embody Amadioha. Just like Ani became Osiris. So you, as a man, because Amadioha, you look at the mythology of Amadioha, Amadioha is a representation of Okpara Chukwu that came to present a new set of law, because the laws of Ane were too drastic for the people. The laws of Ane were too drastic because the way Ane was doing things was, Ane will just kill you. Okay, you see what Ajani is doing to Ndi Oru Anu now. Okay, so this doesn't mean that there's a woman called Ajani. No, Ajani, you're looking at Ajani, but a female human being is an embodiment of that. The female human is an embodiment of Ajani. It doesn't mean that there's actually a molded superhuman being with hands and legs called Ajani. No, all the arts in serious Igbo art are a representation of the embodiments, the symbolisms, and the embodiment of divinities. And I made this very clear in my book. Okay? So when you understand the Hebrew divinity, but also that you are the divinity that you are looking for, and that you can be able to embody divine beings based on the fact that this is why they exist. Why the fuck would you kill chicken and goats for them? So you killing the chicken and goats is actually yourself. Because go ahead and you're the one that ate the meat. You ate the fucking meat, man. You guys, you ate the meat. There's nothing drinking blood. It's you. You ate the fucking meat. There's no deity that ate the meat. You ate the meat. The blood, they drank. Look, you gotta understand what blood is. It evaporates. How do you go from Christianity and into Ordinana to believe in the same rubbish? Our people are finished because of Christianity. Our people are finished. We are finished people. We can't build anything. We can't create anything because we believe in something that doesn't fucking exist. And then you come into Ordinana as ONYE Igbo, and then you start to also believe in something that doesn't fucking exist with a now. It's just something that doesn't exist with the name, your original name. Because Jesus is a foreign name. So you as Jesus is foreign, right? You now think that Amadioha is real because it's in Igbo name. You see what I'm saying? If you don't understand that Amadioha is something, and that Amadioha is a principle that you're supposed to embody, you think that Amadioha is a ram that lives in a fucking sky? Like, this is what people think, that Amadioha is a white ram that lives in the sky. Have you ever seen a ram flying? They don't understand why the symbol is a ram. They don't understand why it is put that way. They don't understand when two rams headbutt each other, it sounds like thunder. Why? That's why it's called. That's because Amadioha and Ikenga are the same deity. They're just different manifestations with different avatars. They're the same deities. So when our people say Ebunejishi a jog, what do Nkita actually think that means? When they refer it to human, they don't mean that you are a literal ram and that you should carry your head. If you carry your bulishigo like a ram and go to a fight, you're gonna get your head cut off. What they mean by Ebunejishi jog is that you're supposed to go with your thinking faculty. With everything you're doing, your mind, the same thing I told you guys, mind over matter. Your mind, your head is always the first. Your head controls every part of your body. That is the meaning of Ebunejishi jog. So use your head. Not to say use your head. What does that mean? When someone tells you use your head, it means they're telling you Gujlishi Mehin and what you're doing. Because life is fights, ogo. The world is already ogo. Okay? That's what these things mean. Our people had the book. Our people didn't write book. What we did was we created divinities. So then we give it attributes. Then we also dramatized it, create films, ancient stories with them. I said, for example, Oma, the moon, mother, and Oma Omelonwata, Mbewa. All of these things are attributed to a specific element of nature, to use it to explain something, to use it to hold us. This is a principle that represents our family, our community, our nation. You understand? It doesn't mean that these are things that you should start to kill chicken and goats for. Do you guys understand what I'm talking about? To kill a chicken and goat for a divinity is the same as believing that there is a man that named Jesus that once walked the face of the earth. Now you have to believe in his blood to protect yourself. It is the same crap.